Hi there, my name's Alana and I'm expecting my first baby in February. So if you are new to my channel, hello, hi, welcome. From here on out, we're going to be sharing lots and lots of pregnancy content and getting ready for baby content and eventually my life as a new mom. And if you're familiar with my channel, then you've obviously seen the video where I announced that I'm pregnant. So if you didn't see that video, hi, surprise, I'm pregnant. So, I'm at basically 15 weeks, which is wild to me because I feel like I just found out that I was pregnant yesterday, and like I found out like as soon as it was like within like a day of missing my period. So it's been, I guess I've known now for about 9 weeks, but really it just feels like yesterday. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a recap of my first trimester, and obviously moving forward, I'll do a recap of my second trimester and my third trimester, you know, all of that stuff, you know, you know what to expect. So, yeah, so let's talk about my first trimester. Okay, so at a high level, it was so much better than I possibly imagined it could be. I have, you know, lots of friends with kids, and I've had a number of friends who, you know, I'm quite close with, and I've spent a lot of time with them while they're pregnant. And okay, I'm not going to say that the first trimester was like a flawless walk in the park where it's like, oh my gosh, like I'll do that every day forever. But mine was pretty good. Like all things considered, you know, I'm very thankful for that. Okay, so let's start. During the first trimester, I didn't really have any nausea. I didn't throw up. I kind of celebrated a little too soon. Literally the day after my first trimester was over, I'm like, oh, like I made it through the first trimester. Like, it's great. I didn't throw up. Like, wow, like I must be a miracle. So that was the day that, you know, my husband and I just got back from 10 days in Ireland and the UK. And that was the day that we were taking the train from Edinburgh to London, and it was really rocky. And I spent about 25 minutes throwing up on the train. But that was technically in my second trimester. So anyways, getting back to the first trimester. So I found out that I was pregnant basically at 4 weeks. So basically my period was a day late, and I'm like, oh, I think I, you know, could be pregnant. And then like my period, you know, 2 days after, I was like, this is kind of weird. The third day after is when I tested. I kind of decided for myself, and I think everyone obviously makes decisions that make the most sense for them. I decided for myself that I would rather get my period than see a negative pregnancy test. To me, that just like, it just sounded less upsetting. So I kind of told myself, you know, in those first couple of days when I was missing my period, I'd kind of told myself, you know what, it might be late, like I'm never late, but maybe I'm late the first time I decide to start trying. So I kind of had said to myself, you know, we're just not going to think about it, and if you still have no sign in 3 days, then you can test. So anyways, in my video where I announce it, I kind of go through the whole, like that whole process. And then basically, basically at week 5, I went to New York with my dad for 3 days. We had the trip pre-planned. And that was kind of an adventure because of course you're given, you know, the list of all the foods you can't, you know, that you can't eat, and obviously no alcohol. And so I get to Manhattan with my dad. And I'd been talking about going to like Nobu with him, and obviously we were going to be getting cocktails, and yeah, anyway, so that didn't happen. But we had a great time, and thankfully, other than maybe a little bit of heartburn, nothing really to report. And then on week 6, this was basically the most hectic first trimester I could imagine. And thankfully, I will say at week 5, I wasn't really feeling anything other than, like, I called it a spicy throat because it didn't even feel like heartburn yet. It was, I guess, but it wasn't like heartburn. It was, to me, it just felt like a very spicy throat right here. So week 6, basically feeling great, like nothing, you know, nothing's really, to me, like going on. It was kind of weird. It's like I had done a test. The test said I'm having a baby. My doctor said I'm having a baby. And I guess it's just hurry up and wait. So week 6, I went to see Taylor Swift in Detroit. And what was really fun about that, I went with my best friend from high school, and I got to share the news with her, so that was a lot of fun. And then the night before that, I was kind of co-chairing this really big party in Toronto. And the party is known for its open bar. And thankfully, someone who wasn't me basically suggested that we should have a mocktail bar, just as kind of a like I guess like not preventing people from drinking and driving, but sort of like disincentivizing it. I mean, not that you should ever, you know what I mean, you know where I'm going with that. So it's kind of a like, you know, all like fun alternatives for alcohol drinks. And so one of my best friends knew, and basically she was like my designated mocktail go-getter. And I just knew if she was bringing me the drink, or if my husband was bringing me the drink, I knew it was a mocktail. But the best thing is it was in a real cocktail glass and it looked like a cocktail, so nobody had to know, because obviously at that point I just wasn't sharing. So I told my best friend from high school that for this party, you know, that basically I'll obviously like stop drinking earlier on and make sure I'm hydrated and get a good night's sleep, because we're driving to Detroit from Toronto the next day. Anyway, so apparently when she saw me that morning, she like took one look at me, and in her mind she just noted, she's like, that girl was not drinking last night. And I was gonna surprise her at Target, but she like, you know, we're like, you know, we both know that we want kids eventually, and she's like, oh, like any updates? And I was like, well, yeah. So basically then we went to Taylor Swift, and again, thankfully no real symptoms. But around, I want to say it was around week 7, that's when the first trimester was like, hi, hello. We like fall off my chair. We are here. And for me, the way that presented was tiredness and fatigue. And so if you're familiar with my channel, you may have saw that I started posting videos again, and then I kind of didn't. It's because I was napping. Yeah, like I'm talking like, you know, I work from home, like, you know, I'd be like doing, you know, I'd get up, I'd be fine enough. I'd be kind of tired and lethargic here and there. But, you know, by about 2 or 3 o'clock, I would just have to say, okay, 30-minute power nap. You know, I just literally can't go on. And then, you know, I would kind of get through the rest of my workday. 5 o'clock, I'd be like, I am napping until 6. And my husband would get home from work and be like, what's for dinner? I'd be like, I don't know. What are you making? And he's going, you work from home. And I'm like, I was sleeping. So yeah, there was basically weeks 8 to 11, 7 to 11, somewhere in there. Well, let's say 7 to 11, 6.5. Basically, like I got back from Taylor Swift, and then it was like, surprise, you need daily naps. So up until week 11, I was basically having a nap every single day. Always napping on my couch on the main floor. Never like make it up to my bed that's like cozy and comfortable and has like a duvet or anything. No, like napping on the couch downstairs. And in my opinion, like if you're sleeping in your bed, you're sleeping. If you're on the couch, you're napping. Tell me if you feel differently, but I feel very firmly about that. So yeah, so a lot of sleeping. Continued heartburn. And like I said, no throwing up until the end. Now, what I found really interesting for me, let's talk about food cravings. I haven't really craved anything. In fact, I don't really find food that enticing. In terms of like craving, like maybe starting in week 10, I was kind of craving soup. And I've continued to like seek out opportunities to have soup. Like last week, I know it's like trimester 2, but last week on Uber Eats, I found a restaurant in my town that is like a soup and sandwich restaurant, and I ordered soup. So I've been at the grocery store several times. I bought those like mason jars of pre-made soup. I have like in my mind, like what kind of fast casual, like Panera. There's like a Panera between my house and my parents' house. And I'm like, I could stop there and get soup. And I've never been like a huge soup person. When we were in Ireland, I like ordered soup at a restaurant, and I was like, this soup is amazing. Like I could just eat that soup forever. Yeah, so we like soup. And I definitely didn't feel like a soup girly before. And actually when I was ordering soup at a restaurant, I overheard this other lady ordering soup, and she was like, guys, like soup is just such a great option for getting a lot of like nutritious food that's like easy to digest. I'm like, yeah, I feel that. And even before like my like pursuit of soup, I was making a lot of like chicken noodle soup from packets at home. And even now, like I'm almost like craving fall because I've like saved all these soup recipes that I want to make. So, I guess I've craved soup, but I wouldn't really say that I've craved anything other than water. This video, this pregnancy, sponsored by water. So we'll talk about the thirst in a minute, but I basically just haven't really been into food. I'd say off the top, like, there are some foods that are an instant turnoff for me. I spoke about having heartburn and called it spicy throat. So spicy food is out. Anything with like a cooked tomato. So like in the first couple of weeks, pizza was like a great easy on the go. Oh, another thing to talk about. Okay, so yeah, pizza with tomato sauce, out. Any pasta with a red sauce, gone. Obviously tomato-based soup, gone. Like I love buttered chicken, gone. If it has a cooked tomato in it, I'm not eating it. I'm not sure at this point if it's like just ingrained in my mind that I'm almost afraid of cooked tomatoes. But they give me really bad heartburn, they make me uncomfortable, and I'm not about being uncomfortable. That being said, with fresh tomato, I have like some exceptions. Like a single slice of fresh tomato, like on a burger, that's fine. A slice or two of fresh tomato, like on a BLT sandwich, that's fine. But like, you know, those like authentic kind of Greek salads where it's like big chopped up chunks of tomato and onion and pepper and like feta. Like, I'm not venturing that far. I'm not doing like a tomato-based dish. Yeah, cooked tomatoes have been my biggest enemy, which is painful because I love tomatoes. Also citrus is out. So I remember like, so it's like learning, like there's been some trial and error. That's how we've got here. So around week 8, I was drinking a lot of smoothies, and I still love smoothies. Smoothies kind of, they're like cold soup, you know? We can talk about smoothies in a minute. So normally I put like a splash of milk into my smoothie, and I was out of milk, and we had like this big beautiful thing of orange juice. So I'm like, oh, I'll just put a splash of orange juice because that's something I've done like prior to pregnancy. And that entire smoothie tasted like acid. And I couldn't finish it. It gave me immediate heartburn. And so like I can't even imagine what an actual glass of orange juice would do to me. So yeah, I don't do orange juice. I immediately pick the lemon out of my water or like my Diet Coke or whatever at a restaurant. Like I get that like out, or like I even ask them not to include it. There's no like squeezing lemons on things. Not, you know, like I love the idea of like a lemon garlic chicken breast. No, like literally citrus of any form, gone. Just immediately eliminated. So yeah, citrus and tomato are totally out for me. And then kind of like secondary to that would be anything that's too heavily deep fried. So like chicken fingers are fine, a few French fries are fine, but like I don't want to finish the French fries. I discovered that one at the end of my first trimester. So we finished off my first trimester in Edinburgh, and then headed off to London, Dunmore East, and Dublin. And in Edinburgh, thought it'd be super classic. We're in the United Kingdom, so we had some fish and chips, and it was delicious. And the next day was when I attribute part of it to the Rocky train, but I also attribute a good chunk of that, because I had a lot of heartburn that night, to just how greasy everything I ate was. So I try to limit myself to like one like greasy thing a day. And even then I'm not eating like greasy things every day. Like for the most part, for example, with my chicken nuggets at home, I'm like putting those into the air fryer. So those are kind of the foods that I've been avoiding. And to be honest, like most food doesn't excite me. But foods that I found have worked for me. Caesar salad. That's been a really great way to get vegetables. Roasted broccoli. There was a while when I wasn't doing vegetables, but I really was like, no, you need vegetables. I can push myself towards it. Chicken fingers or chicken nuggets, those have been like 10 out of 10. I feel like I eat like a toddler. Kraft dinner, mac and cheese, like basic sandwiches, grilled cheese sandwiches. You're hearing a lot of cheese. What else? Smoothies, soup. I make a really good homemade chicken pot pie. So that was really good. I made it enough to last like a couple of days. Like who has chicken pot pie in the summer? Apparently I do, because it's basically soup. It's like a thick soup that has like a little bit of bread on top. Bread, peanut butter toast. I was eating a lot of peanut butter toast early on. And the thing about peanut butter toast is I don't actually even like peanut butter. So do with that what you will. Lots of bagels and cream cheese, a lot of fruit. Oh my gosh, you guys, so much fruit. Like I look at fruit and I'm just like, yes, please. So I'm having a lot of fruit. A lot of fruit smoothies, a lot of yogurt with fruit and granola, yogurt, fruit, granola, honey. And I've been really trying to focus on, little Babel cheeses, veggies and dip, like celery or cucumber or carrots and like ranch dip has been really good. Yeah, basically just very plain food, like no seasoning. I miss flavor. But the idea of eating food with flavor right now truly turns me off. Yeah, just a lot of plain, fresh, like just basic food. I really feel like I'm eating like a toddler. I will say, as I've just started my second trimester, that my appetite is starting to come back. Not fully, but enough that I feel like I can go to a restaurant and not ask for a lot of modifications. Now, I know that I just told you all about how food doesn't appeal to me. The deep irony with food not appealing to me is that I am starving, like, all the time. Like, I wake up, I'm starving. Like, I go to bed, even if I had a snack 90 minutes ago, I'm hungry. Like, I had my breakfast, 2 hours later, I'm starving. Like, I basically need to eat, like, every 90 minutes. I don't need, like, a big meal, but I just need, like, a little snack. Plus meals. Which, by the way, I do find that because now I'm basically eating like little snacks, like not all the time, but I'm eating like a lot of snacks and like little tiny meals rather than like 2 or 3 like big meals during the day. Oh yeah, scrambled eggs, those are good. But because I'm doing a lot of like small meals rather than big meals, because I'm doing a lot of small meals rather than like 2 big meals, I'm finding it's actually really helping with my heartburn, because I find that if I always have like a little bit kind of in my stomach, it really lightens the symptoms for me. So I've been really lucky that, you know, I've had some Tums here and there, but I haven't had to go for any more intervention other than just like changing my diet. And for me, like, I would rather be comfortable. Like, I'd rather be comfortable than, like, have butter chicken, or be comfortable rather than having nachos and salsa. Like, instead, I will have salsa, I'll have nachos and guac, you know? Like, I look at opportunities to make little changes. I always have snacks in my purse, so I've got some granola bars, but I prefer the ones that are, like, more nut-based, like, more substantial. I have little, like, individual guacamole cups with, like, a little Ziploc baggie of nachos. That's a really good, like, quick on-the-go protein snack. I'll bring little Babel cheeses with me. I'll bring like sliced up fruit or grapes or things like that. And I found that that's really, really helped me. Now, I said that I haven't had a ton of nausea, which I haven't, but there's just been some days, I mean, maybe it's nausea, I don't think it's nausea. There's just been some days where I haven't felt the best, and those days, like a red or a blue Gatorade, like amazing. The other really good tip that I got is apple juice. I've been drinking so much apple juice. I find it's like really refreshing. It's light. I bought like this pack of like 6 2-liter bottles at Costco for like $10, and it's been fantastic. So I got that tip from a friend who shared with me that stop drinking orange juice, and you know, welcome to the apple juice club. So I really feel like with those dietary changes that I've been able to manage basically all of my first trimester experiences, feelings, challenges, you know what I mean. I'd say other than that, like what's really just helped me get through the first trimester is just giving myself just like a lot of grace. Like, I'm tired. Okay, I'm making a human. Like, I am making a brain, so I'm gonna have that nap. I'm starving. Like, I'm making somebody an arm right now. So if I'm hungry, like, I'm gonna go and have a snack or make myself a bagel or whatever. You know, if I'm tired and hungry, like I'm literally creating life. So yeah, just give myself some grace. In terms of body changes, I haven't really felt or experienced any yet. But I will say that my breasts have been very like sore and tender and are starting to feel even more full. And as someone who is extra blessed in that department, like, I was hoping that that could have waited a little longer. Yeah, so that's kind of it in terms of my symptoms and how my body's feeling. Overall, I'm feeling really good. It's been a very uneventful first trimester, which I think is such a big blessing, and I hope that that continues on with my pregnancy, because I'm feeling really good, but like, knock on wood. Just, you know, let's not jinx anything. The other really fun thing that I did at the very end of my first trimester was shared the happy news with my family. So I'm gonna share all about that in an upcoming video, and in that video we will also be doing a little gender reveal, so we do know what we're having. I opted to do the early 7-week or 6-week, but I did it 7-week sneak peek blood test. So we do know what we're having, and I'm also looking forward to comparing that to the anatomy scan that's coming up in 5 weeks. But anyways, that is my first trimester, how I've been feeling, kind of what's been working for me, what I've learned hasn't worked for me, namely orange juice. And yeah, and I guess just the last thing, I've never felt so thirsty in my life, so I literally bring my Stanley, I have 2 of them, everywhere I go. Probably the funniest thing is I have a colleague who's also expecting, and we both have a cream colored Stanley, and we'll just be like on calls together sometimes at work, and we'll just both be sitting there sipping our Stanleys from the same cup. And I know in my mind, I'm like, girl, I know what you've got going on. Same. But yeah, anyways, overall, I feel great. I really have nothing to complain about. And my complaints that I do have are relatively minor and ultimately for a good cause that I'm very excited about. Oh, one more funny thing. Sorry, I totally forgot about it. There was one night where my appetite was so shot. Like, I will say I've had a hard time with meat in general. So when I said that I was having chicken nuggets, like, that's basically been my like dinner protein source. Yeah, good enough. Good enough is good enough. And one night for dinner, all I wanted was a baked potato. I like was fantasizing about a baked potato. I made this baked potato. I loaded up with sour cream and cheese and little bacon bits and like chives, and oh, it was so good. But then after I finished my baked potato, I was like, I need protein. But I was so happy eating that baked potato. Anyways, this is truly the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about my first trimester, leave them down below. Happy to answer them. Depending how many questions I get, might do a pregnancy Q&A. And also, if you guys have any videos that you'd like to see kind of moving forward, let me know, especially as they relate to pregnancy and getting ready for baby. I think I'm relatively an open book, and I just really want to be able to share that with you guys in the hopes that, in the same way that my friend shared the apple juice tip with me, I hope that someone watching this video realizes that apple juice is the way. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all of your kind words, and I'm so excited to continue sharing this journey with you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Mwah.